Back, music fans have collectively lost millions of pounds to so-called ticket touts who exploit demand by buying and reselling tickets at high prices. The government's public consultation on ticketing reform closes this Friday, and we're joined now by Dan Smith, the lead singer of Bastille, who's been campaigning to protect the music industry against ticket touts for some time. Dan, good morning to you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So this is a particular kind of argument you're making against touts when it comes to sort of ripping off customers.
Yeah. O2 have been doing a load of research around ticket touting and the effect it's having on the music industry. And obviously, the music industry, like so many other things, is suffering at a kind of grassroots level, particularly in terms of access to music equipment and music education. And tours, you know, for sort of smaller bands starting out, it's really rough environment to sort of be trying to forge a career. And 145 million pounds last year went to touts, basically. So it's this whole other industry that exists kind of parasitically alongside genuine ticket sales. And it's just a shame, as a music fan, like, when you try and buy a ticket, you sit online in a queue with, knowing that all the other people in the queue are touts just trying to sort of make money off the side. And it's, so both as a fan, as someone who's been ripped off, had friends and family that's been ripped off, but also as someone who's lucky enough to tour. And when we put tickets on sale, it's always just such a shame and so frustrating to see fans getting ripped off and tickets that aren't real and tickets that aren't genuine.
So presumably then you are also against the surge pricing, or whatever we call it, dynamic pricing of bands or venues that then sell tickets directly at various different price points for the same ticket.
Yeah, I mean, dynamic pricing is a whole other issue.
Which you're also against?
Yeah, I mean, like, it's not something that we do. But I think that, you know, this is, I guess what's helpful here with this stampittout.co.uk website that's been set up, there's loads of information there about how to buy tickets in a genuine way and know that you're not getting ripped off. But also what we're trying to encourage is people to share their stories. Like, so many people out there, myself included, friends, family, like fans of ours, we've seen them online. The frustration of just, you know, trying to use your hard-earned money to buy a ticket to a gig you want to go to and getting ripped off, paying double, triple, quadruple the price, or getting a ticket that isn't even real. It's so frustrating. And so this website exists both as a place to go and read about how to not get ripped off and buy a genuine ticket, but also as a place to sort of share stories. We're encouraging people to sort of add what's happened to them to this place. There's a government consultation and the sort of the entries on this website for people's own experiences kind of close on the 4th, and so we're encouraging people to lend their voices to this. It's so interesting to me, as part of like this campaign, learning that in Ireland it's illegal to resell a ticket for more than face value.
So are those some of the changes, perhaps after this consultation, that you might want to see? Yeah,
I think we are really keen, you know, as a music fan, as someone that just doesn't want to see people get ripped off.
Yeah.
For there to be a price cap. Some websites offer like a 10% price cap. That exists, and in Ireland, it's literally just not a thing. And it's so interesting to have this example that's really close to home.
So what would you recommend then? Because I've actually been in that position where I bought a ticket and it's not real, and it's
so
devastating.
Annoying, isn't it? I'm so sorry. What was the gig?
It was, what was it? I think it was a band.
Sorry to put you on the spot.
No, my husband's a jazz musician, so it was something kind of slightly niche. But and I was really upset about it, and you know, you'd been robbed to start with. Yeah. But also, I felt like afterwards, I thought, I should have seen the signs. So for people at home who are trying not to get ripped off, what are your top tips to make sure things are genuine? What should they do to be safe?
I mean, this is what's frustrating. I think that the sort of resale sites that are looking to make a huge profit also buy up all the real estate on search engines, so they often come above genuine ticket places. So I guess trying to go to the venue's website, but also go to this stampittout.co.uk. There's loads of information there on how to buy a genuine ticket. I think we're just, you know, really keen for there to be genuine places where, because obviously people can't make the gigs that they book tickets to, and you should be able to resell for face value, and that should be, you know, it should be normalised. But it's so frustrating. I'm so sorry about that experience.
It's so interesting because, I mean, obviously fraud is already illegal. Maybe the government needs to clamp down on how easy it is to sell a fake ticket that then, in fact, is worthless. But I guess the point is, if we're pushing for the government to legislate against the ticket touts at high values, you'd have to probably, if you're being fair and equal, legislate against two-tier pricing, where, for example, Oasis over the summer sell the very same ticket for the same area, the same seat, for one price and then a month later sell it for the same for a higher price. Would you back that as well?
I mean, like I said, we don't use dynamic pricing.
But do you see the argument on that?
Of course I do, yeah. And I think, you know, the idea of queuing for hours to buy a ticket and then, you know, having a hugely inflated price and being put in the position of having to make a snap decision, you know, there's an equivalence there, obviously, but it's a very different issue. And I guess that would be like a whole separate thing, which I know is being talked about a lot as well.
You know, we have this conversation, don't we, during a cost of living crisis. There is nothing like going to see a band live at an iconic venue. Isn't there a conversation to be had around just tickets being better priced, lower, for more people to get out?
I think the real privilege from the perspective I have is someone who's lucky enough to tour. And I'm so lucky to get to make music as my job and tour and everything that comes with that. But I also know how many people that provides with jobs. You know, just in our little touring world alone, there are so many people who are like crew, drivers, like the staff that it takes, the amount of people, the amount of like man hours it takes to sort of get a tour on the road. It employs a lot of people, and there are many tours going on. But also, you know, because of lack of access to music and facilities and music education, like it's a really tough time. Like, you know, lots of other artists have spoken incredibly articulately about that.
One additional issue for people that get up ridiculously early is the time of gigs. Can you do matinees?
Sure. Matinees.
We'll just do some gigs as soon as your guys' shift finishes about lunchtime.
Yeah, it'd be great. And because no one else will want to come at that time, maybe it'll be a really cheap price.
Exclusive, hey?
If we could arrange a little matinee.
Sure, yeah. I'll pop that in the government consultation.
Thanks, Dan.
Dan, if the government could legislate for it, even better. Dan, really appreciate you coming in.
Thanks for having me.